It is very pretty here, but there is a lot of road noise. Okay, hello again. Jim with you. Finally getting out for a canoe trip this year. It is late August 2018 and a cold front has just come through. And so the temperature's no longer in the low to mid 80s and it's a very comfortable 60 something degrees outside. I am on the lower Au Sable River, specifically looking out at Cook Pond right now, and have a permit that I picked up at the Lumberman's Monument. Not the Monument Visitor Center in downtown Oscoda, but the monument itself. Very helpful people there. Just launched about 15 minutes ago. Pulled into a little sheltered spot here off the western end of Cook Pond, the Au Sable River. But it's a gray day, post cold front, a little bit of a breeze, and I've already seen 2 fishing boats out here, but not much else. The ranger at the station told me that all the non-boat-in sites are booked, and this is Thursday before Labor Day. So it's going to be a hopping weekend, but the campsite that I have for tonight is actually on a point about 4 or so miles away from here. I got a little bit of paddling to do. But I expect the sun is going to come out a bit later, and the wind isn't bad at all, and it's good to be out. Driven down here before, but last time it was all ice covered. Campers. Absolutely. Campsite 40. I wondered what it would look like. On to 34. Approaching the first campsite past 40, presumably 39. No one here, so we'll slide in and get a better look. Not bad. Well, for tonight ought to be right over there on the far shore. Paddling across Cook Pond. It's an island in front of us. There's a campsite on the island somewhere. Small boat just go by, caught in its wake for a minute. We're coming up on what I think is the camp for the night. This is 35. I'm looking for 34. They must be pretty close together because it's not that far around the point here. And if somebody shows up for 35, we're going to hear everything they have to say. Well, if this is the weatherman's idea, mostly sunny, I'm glad there wasn't any rain predicted. I expected there to be a sign here. Alright, time to check them out. Okay, that is indeed campsite 34 up there. They're just not going down far enough around this point. Need to come right down to here. And lo and behold, 34. Looking over there, I see some birch down near the water. We could do some birch bark. I brought my solo stove with me, so I'm hoping to do most of my cooking with twigs. Joe Robinette must be somewhere nearby. We got an airplane going by. Okay, the Canoe, kind of the far north end of Cook Pond. Campsite 34. Yeah, this is one open point. And this is next to useless. The hell are you supposed to get any heat out of a fire that's 2 feet down in a metal drum? Granted, it's not going to spread anywhere, but it's not going to give you any warmth either. And that's back the way we came. There's the island with the campsite. Certainly won't be a problem with bugs if this breeze keeps up. Okay, get the rest of the gear. Up here at the campsite, it is on a point. It's very breezy right now. I have 1 dot of LTE signal. I was able to get an updated weather forecast, and this breeze is forecast to end and calm down this evening. So I'm not going to worry about the breeze too much, but I thought I'd take you with me as I think about where to put the tent, how to set up camp. So I'm on this point. That's east, so the sun's going to come up over in that direction. Got this drop off here to the side, and I had thought, well, first of all, let me add that the forecast humidity is 100% in the wee hours tomorrow morning. So I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of dew on the tent. So I'm thinking about how to try to keep the tent dry. So I had considered setting up under this pine tree. This is almost straight into the wind, and there is no cover from the wind right here. I had thought it might ricochet off of that bank down there and give me some cover, but it didn't. This was very appealing back in here, but the problem is tomorrow morning, let's assume that the tent is wet with dew and we want to get morning sun on it ASAP. We're not going to get that here. Too much shade. So I went looking for alternative spots, and again, that's going to have shade. And so I was looking out here. It's a little bit lumpy, but you know, flat enough. No worries. And direct view for the sunrise tomorrow. Should be very nice. But didn't like the idea of just being out here exposed to the wind and with no overhead cover to minimize what dew there is. But then I turned around and I looked at this oak tree, which is very healthy. And I came over to here and I saw this nice grassy spot. And I'm thinking this is going to be the place. Got tree cover to help minimize the dew, at least a little, but I should still catch the morning sun and start getting things dried ASAP. So tent's going to go here, and we're going to finish getting set up. The canoe, by the way, is right down here, safely pulled up, not going anywhere right now, out of the wind. There's another campsite on that point over there, not too near, but firewood, of course, is hard to come by up here. Not that it matters with this half barrel they've got for a fire pit. Honestly, I think the people that set these things up don't camp themselves, or they put out forest fires. Maybe that's a better solution. The guys that choose these barrels are the same guys that have to put out the forest fires, and that's why they're built that way. Alright, getting a bit later in the evening. It's about 10 to 7 right now. The wind's still kicking a bit, blowing out of the east. I thought I'd give you a tour. Got the paddles, life jacket, and pad from the canoe here. Take one of those twisty wire things and join the paddles together, nice and stable. Life jacket, of course. Map case. Got my phone case on there too, so it's not going anywhere. Got the tent set up here, as I indicated before, under a healthy, very healthy oak tree. Got my boat shoes down there. Didn't get too wet, so didn't really need to change shoes, but those aren't the most comfortable, so I did anyway. Little gear bomb going on this side. Sheltered from the wind on a piece of Tyvek that I bring with me so I don't have to put all my gear on the ground. After having set up, I used my new solo stove, and actually took a long time to get a boil, and it's because I didn't have a windscreen. The tarp does not count as a windscreen in this case. The wind is still circulating back from the side here, and it was enough to really increase the boil time. I think it probably took me 25 minutes to boil 2 cups of water for my Mountain House freeze-dried lasagna. Very messy meal to clean up. Leaves cheese residue all over your spoon. Speaking of, use the new pot and the lid kept dropping off the pot. It's not a tight fit, as I knew when I bought it, but I didn't expect it to just spontaneously leap off while it was cooking either. I think it might be, because of the wind. So we'll see what happens as I get a bit of windbreak going. But that's camp right now. Wide open, grassy point. And looks like we're going to have a nice, clear night. About to be able to see some serious stars, I think. Well, good morning. Had a good night's sleep. It's not quite dawn yet, but I've got some proof of something that I had heard. If you look at the trees, the tree above the tent, there is a gap over the far side, and this side has got a lot of dew on it. Don't know if you can see that or not, but there is a lot of dew on the side where the tree has a gap. But on the other side, where the tree is providing really good coverage, not nearly as much dew. So, proven that pitching the tent under a tree will reduce the amount of dew on it in the morning. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Sun's going to come up and we're going to dry all this off, I'm sure. Okay, for breakfast this morning, Santa Fe breakfast corn pudding. Whole kernel sweet corn, chili peppers, and Monterey Jack cheese. Let's give it a shot. Collected a bunch of sticks yesterday and some birch bark. Stored underneath this brown tarp that I made. Keep it dry from the dew. So I got all my fuel. Got the solo stove out. Let's see how it does boiling up a cup of water with no wind. Secondary lighter. I think one of the things I might have been doing wrong yesterday for dinner, I think I might have been feeding it too quickly. Alright, good water. And this is working much better than it did last night already. I can see there's a lot more gasification going on. And I'm betting that the wind was destroying the airflow of the stove. So it could be that I've just got to be a lot more cognizant of the breeze when I'm trying to use wood in this. Full rolling boil. Let it sit for 5 minutes. Slowly packing up. Got this hefty oak branch up here. Rain it down, put this knot, that stick. Grab my pack. What do you do one-handed? And through. There we go. Pack's off the ground. A lot easier to load up. This is my first trip, canoe trip, using this Mountain Hardware 75 liter waterproof duffel. And I like it. I like it a lot. I had one of those rubbery seal line packs, and the bottom of my canoe was starting to chew that up, and it was just awkward. I like to have a day pack, and I've got this, I think it's a 35 liter waterproof Mountain Hardware pack, and so I've got everything I need. The Scrambler 35, Scrambler RT 35. So I've got everything I need in here for day trips, day hikes, and then I've got in here I keep the tent, sleeping bag, sleeping pad, spare clothes, all those bigger things. Time to head out. Wind's starting to kick up from the south. It'll be a crosswind, I think, for most of the day. On to tonight's campsite, about 3 hours away. Alright. Coming up on the portage around Cook Dam. Well, I've just gone down to the base of the dam and done some recon of the area. The water just below the dam is where the current is strongest. And I'm going to try to do this as an out and back. So that means I've got to be able to paddle back up through the current right down here at the dam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down, launch the canoe in an eddy where the current is next to nothing, and then as soon as I get out into the current from the dam, I'm going to turn around and make sure that I'm able to pedal back up current so I can come back tomorrow and get out of here. Well, based on the other paddlers that I see here, my concerns about the current were unfounded. I do believe I'll be able to maneuver just fine through here. Let's go over a bit and see what happens. Not a problem. Yeah. I can do this, okay. Campsite 95C. We'll check again down here at the curve where the current might be funneled just a little bit, just to be sure. And instead of portaging up there, instead there appears to be a boat launch below the dam. So I will just take the canoe out down here at this boat launch and just walk up the hill, less than a kilometer, and get the truck and drive back down. And I can see in the water here that the current is really kicking right here, and there's a headwind. And I am not having any trouble at all. So now, cruising the Au Sable River below Cook Dam. Here's the first dilemma. Main channel looks to be straight ahead, but I'm betting that this is a recent cut through, and it's just going to link right back up. So let's go through here. Yeah, that was a good guess. There's the main branch, and there's the cut that we just came through. The first campsite coming into view here looks like 83. uphill. Bad takeout though. Another cut through or a dead end. Got a lot of current flowing with me through here. Ah, there we go. I thought there for a minute I had dead-ended. No more road noise. Campsite 86 ought to be on that point. 85 was up a steep hill. Let's get rid of this log. Water is crystal clear. You can see down, oh, ducks. I can see down 8, 10, 12 feet. Much wilder down here. Alright, after we run this bend a little ways farther, ought to be 95. Or there just may be a powerboat instead. I believe that's a campsite and drive up. Probably 89D. That's a drive up. It is probably 92. I think the campsite is somewhere up here. You know, the position is about right. I don't see a sign though. It's the only gap that I've seen in the bush. I got nothing but thick brush. $95. Found it. Not too promising though. Alright, got the canoe tied off. And here is campsite 95. Big fire ring. dark, dark, dark. I don't know. I got a strong tailwind if I head back right now. Let's go look up here. And just more of the same. Well, it's 2:16 in the afternoon. I can stay here in the Forest of Mordor, or I can catch that southerly tailwind I was fighting all the way to get here and be feet back and spend the night at home. I'm going to call it. I'm heading for home. I wanted to come up here and check out canoe camping on the Au Sable. I've done that. Got a feel for a number of these campsites. But there's a 40% chance of rain in the morning. And I've got a good tailwind to give me a kick to get out now. And there will be other trips.